minutes of having this conversation are often among the 40 most important minutes in their lives. And when you bring someone to the booth and have this conversation, you're going to find out something, no matter how close you are to them, that you didn't know before.
You know, I can't think of a situation where this is needed more than on this whole debate around immigration. Mm-hmm. Because any time you can have a debate around people that are being called aliens, right, you know, someone you do not know, right, you've already set up the possibility that bad things can happen to them because you don't know them. And if you just meet people, if you hear people telling their own stories, speaking for themselves, there's nothing more powerful. Well,
I think that gets to really the core of StoryCorps, which, as I said, reminds us that every life matters. And when you listen to these stories, no matter where they're recorded, no matter who's speaking, half of our interviews are held for people who might not have heard of us through public radio or through newspaper. So we're working with immigrant rights groups or juvenile justice organizations or homeless organizations. When you hear a story, almost by definition, it's going to be someone very different than you. But you're going to recognize a little bit of yourself in that person. And I think that recognizing that there is so much more as a country we share in common, and that we do really care about the same things, and that everybody is that every life matters, and there is so much commonality to find is extremely important. And also, you know, StoryCorps is very much a project about listening, and we do spend so much time screaming at each other in this country that I think it's important for us just once in a while to keep our mouth shut and just listen to what other people have to say.
Dave, could you read a little from Lourdes Villanueva? She's 49, and she's talking to her son, Roger Villanueva Jr. He's 30.
Sure.
This is from the section, Devotion.
Yeah, this is a story. I know that the son brought his mom to the booth to honor her. She had been a migrant worker, and her parents had been migrant workers. And I know she talks about growing up, raising him in a car, you know, as she was working in the farms. And then really rode her kids to make sure they went to college. And she ended up going through community college and then going through college, and I think getting an advanced degree. And this is just Roger speaking to his mom after she's talking about the kind of pressure she put on the kids for to have them go to school. I don't think anybody else loved us enough to give us that tough love. Only the people that really love you look out for you, and that's why you pushed us. To this day, I still think that had it not been for you pushing me to go to college to get my education, I don't think I would have made it. I can honestly tell you that. From the bottom of my heart, I'm glad you did everything that you did. If I was to have the option to choose another mother, I would never choose anybody else but you. When I look for my partner, I always say, if my wife can be half the woman that my mother is, I'll be okay. I know I've never told you that, but that's the way I feel. And that was recorded in Florida.
Let's go to a clip of that right now.
Great.
This is Lourdes. This is Roger's mom.
You pretty much grew up in the back of the pickup truck. I was picking crops, and in my breaks, I had to change your diaper and do whatever needed to be done and continue on working. And I always thought that you need to do what I didn't do, which is finish your education first.
You always said that you were going to lead by example, and I remember when you got your GED, you were in the fields, and instead of having lunch, you would have your books, and you'd be studying. After that, I remember that you said, you know, I'm going to go to the community college at night. I mean, I was just so proud the day that you graduated.
Yeah, I had to hurry up and graduate before you guys did, because I knew you guys were coming right behind me. And
yeah, well, I really thought that was something special. If I was to have the choice to choose another mother, I would never choose anybody else but you. And when I looked for my partner, I always said, if my wife can be half the woman that my mother is, I will be okay. And I know I've never told you that, but that's the way I feel.
Well, Dave, I think we will leave it there. And thanks so much for doing the work that you do. And I look forward to the next conversation, the next book, and the next tens of thousands of conversations that you make sure people get to hear each other. As you said in a previous book, listening is an act of love.
Thanks, Amy. It's always a privilege to be here.
Dave Isay, the founder of StoryCorps. Happy Mother's Day, all. Democracy Now! Is produced by Mike Burke, Shrufo Dokadus, Aaron Mate, Angelique Kamet, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Massoud, Robbie Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Peter Curries, and Miguel Noguera are our engineers. Special thanks also to Becca Staley, Julie Crosby, Karen Ranucci, Miriam Bernard, Brenda Murad, Nick Gilla, Hugh Gran, Samantha Chambly, Jessel Noor, John Gerberg, Vesta Godars. Oh, and happy birthday, Jessel Noor. I hope you have a wonderful birthday in India. You can go to our website at democracynow.org. You can sign up there for Twitter. You can read every transcript of every hour broadcast of Democracy Now!, top to bottom, right there. Our headlines are also available in Spanish. Over 250 radio stations take those headlines. You can, too. We also audio, video, podcast at democracynow.org. Tell your friends about Democracy Now! You are our best advertising. Again, happy Mother's Day to all moms. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.